It was mentioned earlier that the city council could blame the Blue Ribbon Committee. I, for one, would never blame the Blue Ribbon Committee.
Exactly.
There were 11 Wildemar residents that were on that committee, and each one of them has donated their time, not just on the Blue Ribbon Committee, years of their time. I personally have volunteered with John, Lloyd, and Tim Underdown for 7 years to bring our parks back once already. And these people, Tracy Lobo, I mean, these people have, for years, volunteered in Wildemar. We went to them, they stepped up once again to look at the situation, and this is what they brought back was their best recommendation. I trust their recommendation. They researched it. They weren't out there on their own. They went out to the community, they got information, and they brought it back, and they made a decision, and they came to council. I commend the Blue Ribbon Committee on the job that they did. I support their decision. I support the 28. I support the 45. If we do not go through with this, we're never going to get a park on the east side. Every single time we ever bring this up, it will be the same thing. We have to have more parks in our community. And people on the east side don't always want to drive over to the west side or to Warner Bryan to play. And we have more kids coming in, and we are going to grow. And these 3 parks are simply not enough. We need more parks in our community. And I stand by the recommendation of the 28 and the bond and the 45.
Thank you. I too feel much the same way that Bridget does, but I want to see this passed, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes. If it takes breaking it apart and getting $28 now and having to spend more of your money later to get a park over here, then that's what we have to do. The last speaker said that we were here making decisions for the community and trying to ram a tax down its throat. We need 2/3 of you to want the tax, not us. Doesn't matter what we want. All we're deciding tonight is whether to put it on the ballot or not. The decision is up to all of you, whether this goes through, whether we have parks, whether they're fenced again. You know, I don't have kids that go to the parks, but every time I drive by there are kids at the park. I don't care what time of day it is. We were looking at a property across the street from the park, and I look over, and there's 3 Temecula school buses at our park. They apparently came to DeJohn's to see the animals that they can't see in their city, and then they came to enjoy our park. And they're paying double what we're asking right now for their parks and recreation. And yet they stopped at our park. They found it convenient, they found it beautiful and easy to get into and use. We don't have much here in the way of parks and places for the kids to play. I'll listen to council, and I will go along with what they think is best for the community, and I will listen to each and every one of you. But we've got to do something to keep these parks open now. Any other comments from council?
I'm too looking at this from a standpoint of what can we get the voters to pass at this point. And I feel really strongly that asking for a bond initiative at this point is going to be very difficult. It's not to say I don't want to see a park on the east side. It's not to say that I don't think we should all collectively spend $17 to bond that out someday and do that. I just don't see how we can get that passed in today's climate of anti-taxes. And going back to the Republicans needed in Sacramento to put a tax on the ballot up there, I wouldn't vote on that if I had to, because that's a tax that goes into the general fund of the state of California that will get sucked up and go away. As opposed to this tax, it's going to go into a single fund for a park or a single bond for a park and stay right there. That's just for parks. As a council, we can't decide to take that and put it somewhere else. That's for parks. There's a big difference between that and Sacramento and what they're asking for up there, in my opinion. But going back again, though, I just don't see how we can get B passed at the same time.
Well, then we're probably not going to get A plus B to pass together.
Right. I see a need for at least a split.
Do we want to continue this public hearing, maybe with some new dialogue, some new information of how we can put it on the ballot and separate them?
I would think
Would that be-
continue would probably be the right thing.
Gary Moore, Assistant City Manager. In light of the discussion and some of the other items that have recently come up, we could continue this to March 7th, Monday, March 7th, a special meeting just for this item. And that would give us time to do additional research and still be within the time frame of a potential ballot election for June 7th of 2011.
So we have to be coming back on Monday?
It'll be on Monday, at the, that'll be the latest. That we would recommend.
Another option that I researched, we could ask and do a survey. It would cost around $5,000, but it would give us the input of 300 registered voters and find out what the voters are thinking. I'm not sure if we need to do that or not.
Well, we have to go forward with A anyway.
Right.
The parks need to be open, so maybe it's the weather to separate them and have 2 of them or have 1. I don't know if we need a survey for that.
We could ask the voters if they would, which ones they feel would pass, but it's a lot of money to put that out there.
Well, and I think maybe it'd been fortunate if we'd done that survey earlier, because then we'd be hearing from Webb Associates, hey, we researched the people of Wildomar. Hey, even though they talk this way, we know how they're going to vote. But right now,
Well, we could do that this week, Bob. We could actually,
It would be
Start-
possible to
start
get
it.
it done
yes.
before our next meeting and have some answers from the voters in general, whether they want to go forward with A or A and B. I mean, that could be the question. That would at least help us and come back with some information.
Yeah, this is the hot seat up here. It's not fun up here in this seat right now with this issue, because none of us want to see our parks closed, not a one. And all of us would be willing to do both, A and B, but we don't speak for just us 5, so it has to be everybody else has to make this decision. And yeah, I hate putting money towards a ballot initiative and trying to get something on the ballot that we know that's gonna fail, because that's just a waste of cash, and that's not our cash, that's your cash.
Yeah, it
So
might
that's
come
what
back,
comes down for me.
it might come back on the survey that neither of them have any chance of anything. And at that point, do we go forward spending?
no, I think if, there could be some misinformation out there because parks are so important that there's no way that could be the right thing for the people of Wildomar. And we need to find out. So I don't think it's going to come back that way. The question might be whether they would want to see it, the 2 of them on the ballot or just 1 on the ballot. That's maybe.
You know, I think we probably have heard and know the answer to that one at this point. Do you want to spend the 5,000 on a survey? What do you think, Bob? Let's go right down the line.
Do I want to spend 5,000 on the survey to see whether we should add? No, I don't think I do.
Ben?
I think we're gonna need a consensus on that, just to spend $5,000, so we're not gonna do it.
Yeah.
No, I would have done it, but that's all right, because I would rather spend that small amount compared to $25,000 or $30,000 to put something on the ballot that we're not gonna win. So, but it's gonna be consensus. If none of us believe that, then we'll just stick with that. We won't spend it. I agree, that's fine. We'll just have to, pray everybody does their share and talks to everybody and gets at least the A part going and helps us out. Because, it's our community as a whole. It's not just the young kids' community, it is everybody's community. And it does affect your housing. I own land, so it does affect my money. And it'll
affects the
go
whole
negative towards
community.
you, I'm telling you, it does. This is the way it works.
It's the difference between having a community and not. I
Right.
mean, that's what it is, right there.
Yeah, community, the movie in the park, all those things, they're not gonna be a community if we don't have stuff like that. We don't have anything to do. And later on, we'll work on, be business friendly, people, be business friendly. Let's stop suing everybody and let the businesses come in here that create tax dollars so we can get other parks open. That would be a very easy thing to do, not nitpick everything that goes on here.
Do I hear a motion to continue this
I'll
to,
motion that.
what date? The 8th? 7th?
March 7th.
March 7th.
March 7th at 6:30.
You're going to need to go through each resolution and take it one by one to continue the first resolution and then to continue the second resolution.